Hey, good morning, church. Hope you guys are having a great morning so far. So we're starting through the book of Psalms, and we are into Psalm 78 today. And I want you guys to buckle in. We got a lot of verses to go through. There's 72 total verses in this one, and so I'm going to try and get through it. I'm not going to try and rush. I'm just going to try and hit on the highlights. And I want you guys to really read through this and read through it. You know, it can be piece by piece throughout your day, or just sit down and read it all at once. But I just want you guys to read through it and see what you guys get out of it versus what the highlights I'm going to hit out of it. So if we want to jump on in, verse 1, it starts off with talking about what the author is about to talk about. So verse 1 says, "My people, hear my instruction, listen to what I say. I will declare wise sayings, I will speak mysteries from the past, things we have heard and known and that our fathers have passed down to us." So it's starting off with, we're going to go through Israel's past, right? So the title of this one is Lessons from Israel's Past in my Bible. So starting off with talking about that, what happened in Israel's past, right? And so the first 8 verses are talking about what he's going to be talking about, right? So then we get into verse 9. It says, "The Ephraimite archers turned back on the day of battle. They did not keep God's covenant and refused to live by his law. They forgot what he had done, wonderful works he had shown them." And so he starts right into things that Israel has done in the past wrong, right? So, the archers turned their back on the day of battle. They did not keep God's covenant. They forgot what he had done. So at this point, Israel is seeing a lot of amazing wonders right now, right? And so it's talking about that there. And then we get into verse 17. It says, "But they continued to sin against him, rebelling in the desert against the Most High." So then, you keep reading this next section, 17 through 31, and it's talking more about what all God has done. So, verse 18, "They deliberately tested God, demanding the food they craved. They spoke against God, saying, is God able to provide food in the wilderness?" And then we get into verse 27. It says, "He rained meat on them like dusk and winged birds like the sand of the seas. He made them fall in his camp all around his tent." So it's going from Israel, what they did wrong, into what God did, right? And then verse 32 says, "Despite all this, they kept sinning and did not believe his wonderful works." And so we keep seeing this constant theme right here. So then we get into verse 40. It says, "How often they rebelled against him in the wilderness and grieved him in the desert." Verse 56, "But they rebelliously tested the Most High God." We see all these things that God has done, and then it starts over again with Israel testing God and not listening to God, right? And these 72 verses are a great snapshot of most of the beginning of the Old Testament. We're starting through that on Wednesday night, which, you guys should come and listen and see, because it's an amazing study. But, we're starting through the first couple books right now. We're in Exodus, and it's awesome to see the history of the Israelites. But this right here is a quick little snapshot of what's going on. And the main points, verse 17, 32, 40, 56, those points of they kept sinning, right? And obviously hindsight is 2020, right? So if you want to go back to the first verse, says, "My people, hear my instruction, listen to what I have say. I will declare wise sayings, I will speak mysteries from the past." So as we're going through trials and struggles and stuff like that, like these Israelites were doing, we don't see the big picture. We don't see that we can ask God a lot of times. Then we go past it, we see that God provided for us, we look back and say, well, I was an idiot. Why do I keep doing this? Same thing with the Israelites. We look at the Israelites like, you guys are dumb. Look at all that God has done for you. Now, granted, the things that God did for Israel was more apparent and more black and white, but, we look back at it, but being in the situation, a lot of times we don't see that God is providing for us or how God will provide for us. So, that was a really quick overview of this whole chapter. I want you guys to read through it and really, it's awesome to see what all God did for the Israelites. And I want you guys to think about, can you write 72 verses about what God has done for you and how you rejected him and how he just kept coming back for you. So hope you guys have a great rest of your day. God bless.